What's good, everyone, or nobody? We are live in Canada at Grayson Music Studios, Sound Studios.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. And I have who is the best music supervisor in Canada? Claiming it, that's what it is. Miss Chantel, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Feeling good. It's so nice to be in Grayson Studios. It's gorgeous and huge studios in here. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good to be out here. My first time in Toronto, and I am here for the Sync Music Production Accelerator. We got someone, Marquette, thank you for tuning in. The Sync Music Production Accelerator out here. Doing great things. Appreciate the support. And Chantel went through this program last year, and now she's like a music supervisor for the top. Tell them what's your title?
Yeah, it was fantastic going through this program, and it got me the right connections that I needed. Now I work for Wracket Music Supervision, which is the only Black-owned music supervision company in Canada. They're doing fantastic things, some great projects lined up. They work with fantastic companies as well. So I think since leaving last year, it's just been up and up.
Yeah. And your trajectory has been fast. I see everyone tuning in. Man, I can't keep up. Kiara, thank you for tuning in. Drum Guy Bliss, Marquette, definitely come out here next time. Z Music, YB the Prophet. What is your IG handle so they can follow?
Me, I go by Vybz Chantel. It's it's spelled the same way as Vybz Cartel, so that's VYBZ CHANTEL.
Z is Z for those who don't know.
Yeah, sorry. You can tell we're in Canada now.
After listen, thank you for tuning in, Kiara. I appreciate it. VYBZ Chantel CHANTEL.
Yeah, that's me.
Follow her, music supervisor at Wracket Music. So Wracket Music's the only Black-owned music supervision company in the whole country.
That I know. I mean, for the longest time, I was saying, like, one of the only... Mm-hmm. And then I'm traveling around the country. I'm going to, the award shows for the Guilds of Music Supervisors. And I'm just, not seeing anybody else. Yeah. So it's starting to feel like I think we are the only one. I put it into Chat GPT, and I said, list me all the Black-owned music supervision companies in Canada. And it said Wracket.
That was it?
Yeah. That's the only one it came up with, so I'm going to have to go with the only one. It's a massive country. I haven't seen all of it, but as far as I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I mean, it does say a lot. I know we have a smaller market here, but we definitely have, the talent and the diversity for a lot more people of color to be in the space. So it's definitely something that needs changing.
And that's what I like about this program, the premise of the whole program. And Lumiel and Wick Jones, thank you both for tuning in. The whole premise of the program, the Sync Music Production Accelerator, is having minorities come do 4 or 5 weekends of workshops and learning about the business, sync licensing. I think they'll have AI next week. So they have different weekends and different focuses each weekend. And they're all minorities, African American, Latin American, people from the islands, that they're trying to educate. They're mostly Canadian, right? They're all Canadian, all the participants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They can be in the industry like Chantel here.
Yeah.
What was a highlight for you from this program last year?
Oh, last year I feel like it was just so incredible. I was at the point where I was just so hungry for knowledge. I really wanted to be in the industry, but it felt like there was this iron curtain that I couldn't see past, and Michelle and I talk about that all the time of just pulling that back and really showing what's going on in the industry. 'Cause it's hard when you have all that passion and all that drive and you're so happy to put it somewhere, but there's nowhere to go with it, right? So I think before I did the program, I was definitely feeling that way. I was looking for that expansion in my career. I was looking to take that next step. And it felt so divine to finally actually enter a space where that could flourish, where I could learn. And I think what was important was the material was so specific to what I would actually be doing, and it also put me in front of all the right people in the industry. So having so many speakers come in and out was fantastic for making connections that were important, to actually be able to ask questions as well. This is slightly a different format where if you were on a traditional panel or at a lecture, you're kind of just observing. Where in this program you really get the chance to chat one-on-one one. You get real feedback from people that are working in the industry, and it's honest. So I think that those connections were the important thing, and that's what led me to, coming out of the program and my career really taking off. Yeah.
Did you meet Wracket Music through this program?
Yes.
You were a speaker?
Yeah, so Everton came in, and that's another thing too. It was so nice to see so many people in the industry actually like donate their time and come in and give that effort to really giving us an ear, giving us a chance. I was in a group with such incredible producers. They were just like blowing me away every single time we were working on a brief. And we were at Oso Studios working on a brief, and Everton came in to give feedback on each one of us. I really wanted to approach like the music supervision side, so I really approached it like a music supervisor would, and everybody was making something from scratch, which was like really cool. And I was kind of focused more on like the licensing and music supervision, but it fit so seamlessly. He was impressed, and it was so good for our first interaction to be based off of like my work. And then I just felt super aligned with Wracket. I really liked the projects that they were working on. I really liked the energy of the company, and again, I think it's so important to see that representation there. And so if I'm thinking about wanting to become bigger in my career, taking on more clients, it's important to think about, whose business I want to be driving forward. And someone like Everton, that's a business I want to be driving forward. You know what I mean? I want to win for the whole team. So, we got to talking about stuff, and I really volunteered my help and my time and was ready to go, and it just seemed very aligned. Things happened exactly at the right moment, and I think from the start we kind of got each other from a work perspective too, so it just kind of blended naturally, and led to me working at Wracket. I started out as a music coordinator, and then was just like so in it, so trying to learn everything I could and move up to a music supervisor, and now that's what I'm doing. I'm a music supervisor for Wracket, and it's incredible. It's such a full circle moment to think like, okay, I started by giving myself and my career that effort and time, and in just a year, look how far things have come.
Yeah. A lot can happen within a year, and that is really fast. That won't be everyone's story. And I see some people tuning in. I'll get back to the questions in a little bit, but that won't be everyone's story. But just like if you keep going at it, keep putting the effort in, and you can excel above others, because obviously you were the standout from last year's program. And here you are, music coordinator. That was only a couple months, and then you're like music supervisor. That's really fast.
It was super quick. I think that I won't say I was the standout, because I think that all the producers was with were fantastic, and they were more approaching from like they wanted to do some engineering and producing and composing, where I really wanted to be a music supervisor, and I think that that's why that works. But I think that it's very interesting, because when you look at it in a year, it happened really quickly. But I guess I kind of had to have those talks with myself of like, oh, there's actually been a lot of work you've been doing to get to this point that wasn't specific to get to this point. At the time I was doing the work and essentially preparing myself to be where I'm at now, I wasn't thinking that this was going to be the end of the pathway. I was just taking one step at a time. So I think that, when you're really true to yourself and you're constantly little by little making those right choices that feel aligned with who you are and in your soul, you get to where you're supposed to go eventually, right? And then like when it starts lining up quick. And so the past few years, the past year feels super quick, but I'll give credit to like younger me that was doing this before she knew that she was going to be doing this for sure. You definitely have to prepare for the moments, because you never know when they're going to happen, so you got to be ready. Then you don't have to get ready. Let's see, I saw a question here. Official Eclipse, shout out to Eclipse. He is also a library owner from Texas. Shout out to I Like That. I have some incredible placements with them. Drum Guy Bliss says, is there a particular genre that Wracket specializes in? And Drum Guy Bliss, Wracket is WRACKET. I don't know if I can write it here. Right? Wracket, something like that. I'm on the phone. But are there genres that you specialize in? Do you only work on campaigns for Canada? Is it, do you only work with Canadian artists? How does Wracket sort of... We're super open. So a lot of the clients that we have come from Canada, the States, even the UK as well. And we're really always looking for, to be able to diversify the client set that we have, because it's fun to just work on awesome projects.
Yeah.
Simple as that. In terms of what genres we specify, I mean, I've gotten briefs for like almost everything, right? So we definitely see all genres and we're accepting of all music. But I think that, being the only Black-owned music supervision company, we do have a duty to ensure that there's like diversity within the landscape here in Canada. So I think that for me, when I'm out there scouting music, I'm definitely prioritizing to make sure that I can have like the most diverse playlist. So they know when they come to Wracket, they're going to get like the good stuff that's really of the culture coming from the culture too. And it's important to me to always include those communities that have supported me throughout my whole career. So it's important to make sure we have a lot of Black artists in there. Being in Canada, it's important to have Indigenous artists that have taken care of the land that I step on every single day, right? So and then of course, like, it's important to have part of the LGBTQ community represented too, and women, of course. I'm always like, we see a lot of women, and I think right now it's like a hip-hop lover. I'm seeing a lot of women on the forefront, and it's really healing something that, like, back in the early 2000s and the 90s, it feels like I'm getting to relive those moments, but through the voice and the lens of a woman right now, and it's super exciting. But I think even with all the women that we're seeing in superstardom right now, when you actually look, behind the scenes at the industry, there's still like such a disconnect with how many women are actually, successful in that regard. And so I'm really important. It's really important to me to make sure that whatever I can do to be that person in the room that's advocating for people that are part of the communities I'm part of, that I'm doing that, right? Yeah. So I want to have a strong, healthy library so that people know when they want that good.
Perfect answer. Drum Guy Bliss, hopefully that helped. I'm trying to get through all the people that's joined. BFF Patrick, I am Brahms, Esan. Thank you for tuning in. Nick Say, what is the name of the company? Wracket. Nick Say, a producer. It is Wracket Music, Wracket. I think I spelled it wrong, but Wracket Music Supervision, right?
Yeah.
It is. I guess we can claim it as the top Black-owned music supervision company in all of Canada, the country of Canada, maybe even the world. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that's right.
What trends, since you've been there for a year, so what trends have you seen musically that clients have been looking for over the last year in like the sync space, music-wise?
Yeah, I think it might have to do with our clients, but I'm definitely seeing, like, today we were talking about that kind of soft girl music and something that feels good. I think sometimes we're getting that clientele that's looking for beauty care, body care. So they want to create that special moment of, like, sensuality, of being home, of, like, finally brushing the day off and having a moment to be happy and euphoric in yourself. And again, there are so many women that are doing that so well in the industry today. So I've definitely seen that as a trend, and appealing to women in that sense. That's been like a huge one for us. We always need that like high energy hip hop fusion stuff. So we're definitely seeing a lot of that too, for sure.
Yeah. What has been what's the problem that you see the most when you get submissions? I don't know how many you get, but what is like the top 2 or 3 issues that you see? You're like, it was almost there, it wasn't there. If they fix this, what have you seen? Yeah,
I think there was like a huge part of this year where I was really locked into projects that were super specific. So I needed to hunt down music that was part of a specific genre, but also part of like a specific period of time. So I couldn't really be going out to new producers to get music. So I felt like the biggest issue was receiving music that was like kind of hard to save and store and go back to later, right? I was traveling around Canada, seeing so many people, getting really excited about their music, but I knew that the clients I had, it wouldn't service that. So there was a couple people where I just wish, whether that was like in their email having more keywords and like, you know, a good description about what they're offering and what kind of brief that would fit into. I also really love when like you have it, for example, like in your signature, all your information's there, right? Because I was finding that, you know, there was like a big gap where I couldn't really use the new music I was getting, but then you get right back to it, and I want to be able to make sure that's all organized. So having that on Disco with the right metadata, having that email, so even if I wanted to search my inbox, I can go into my inbox, and just keeping things organized so that I can go back to it later, I think was so important, because for me it's not always a no, it's just a not right now, right? So I want to make sure that, you know, when the time comes, that it's fresh on my mind.
And she mentioned, feel free to drop any questions. She mentioned Disco, which is a great platform for cataloging music. If you are here on Instagram, comment the word Disco1, and I'll send you a link that you can check out Disco. Drum Guy says, awesome, we'll be submitting material. Cool. What are you currently looking for as a music supervisor at Wracket? Do you want artists to submit just whatever from their catalog, or do you want specific genres for your pitches? We're looking at a really busy year next year with what we're lining up and been lining up in the past like couple months. I know Everton's been traveling around the world, and so that's really got eyes on Wracket right now. So I am pretty open to general submissions, because I know that, you know, just like last year, I'm gonna need things from all over, right? All different genres. I know specifically right now, definitely the soft girl stuff. We need a little bit of like trap hip hop. We need a little bit of Latin influence for sure. I'm a really big fan of like the Emma piano scene, and I would love to start to like inject that into some like cool commercials that we're working on and shows and things like that, because it's important to me that, you know, the stories that we're telling look super current, and I want it to reflect, you know, what I see when I'm out and about having fun, right? So I would really love to have a strong library of that I can pull from to start pitching. I forgot to ask at the beginning, where are you from? What is your nationality, ethnicity? Yes, I was born and raised in Canada. My mom's from England. My dad is half Trini, half Bayesian. That's a great mix of sounds and ethnicities. Let me scroll through. I spent a little bit of time in England, so I'm definitely like... Do you have a British accent that you can do? I only have like a joking, like I'm drunk. That's serious. Who wants to hear the British accent? Let's hear it. Making fun of my name. I'm not that good at like a real serious one, but I did spend like years living out in London too, so I think that's like a big influence for me for sure. I think they have a phenomenal R&B scene, a phenomenal jazz scene out there that's really inspirational, and of course, like, you know, they've carved away with grime. They've got, I see the Bayesian flag there. What's up? Drum guy, that's what's up. Yeah, so they've carved away with, like, you know, they've got their own version of drill. They've got, you know, some amazing artists out there. So that was really fun. And one thing I like about living in London is, like, they're very, you know, we've got tons of festivals going on. You've got some good venues there. So it was, you know, such a hub for seeing so much art, culture, music. It was really easy, really accessible, far more than it is in Canada for sure. Yeah. Drum guy. Oh, you Bayesian. Okay, British born, grown up in Canada. So Drum Guy Bliss. So like the same. You should definitely look up Drum Guy Bliss. Look up the Sync Music Production Accelerator. If you have any questions, just shoot me a DM, and I can connect you. Because I believe they're going to be doing more of this next year, more of these programs, hopefully around the country. So stay tuned. Esan says the British accent. I mean, you can tell me no, but you can't tell them no. So you gotta do it. I guess I gotta do it one time. She gotta get in character. Yeah, I feel like I only know like the, you know, like those random like British pop culture like sayings. You know what I mean? The like Gemma Collins. Go for it. There's one. I feel like there's this one where she's like, "I'm a massive fan of the dictionary." See, did you hear her? Was it too loud? She didn't speak louder. So random. Yeah. But I definitely, when I was over there, I did indulge. I feel like their slang is so similar to Toronto slang. Yeah. So it was very easy to kind of blend in there for sure.
eventually drop a few in it. So
you got some claps.
Comfortable.
You sound like the accent. We have a few more minutes before we got to get back to work at the camp up here. Speaking of camps, I would love to talk to you about. I do work with a company that does camps around the country in the U.S. Drum Guy Vybz Drum Guy Bliss appreciate the support. That we do camps around the country in the U.S. or actually they've done some internationally as well. But might be a good idea for Wracket for some of those to like do some camps, not like this, but focus on creating music for some of your top clients. We can talk offline about that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we're looking to do. Like, the more we can kind of get together, be creative, and have that magic, the better, right? Yeah. So, for sure, look out for that.
DB12 sounds clear. I'm going to reset the room. Minnie, the producer, thank you for tuning in. We have Chantel here. Is it Anais? How do you say your last name?
Yeah, you could say Anais. You could say a name, whatever is easier.
Anais.
I'm not picky with my
Chantel, I didn't put her information here, but it is at Vibe Chantel. She is I'm calling her the top music supervisor here in, is it Chantel or C-H-A-N-T-L? In Canada for Wracket Music Supervision, the top Black-owned music supervision company in Canada also. Rich Rose, thank you for tuning in. Rich just knocked out a brief for me. It was actually a month ago, but it got accepted into a library. We just found out yesterday. So some sports briefs we knocked out. Such an awesome. Minnie, the producer, if you have any questions, if anyone has any questions, drop in the comments. We have about 10-ish minutes before we got to get back to work out here at Grayson Music Studios in Canada. It's a great studio. They have a lot of great facilities here. There are some incredible producers out here. We'll follow her. Please do follow her. Stalk her page. Rich Rhodes, yes, salute. What are you looking forward to around the holidays? I mean, we're in America. We have Thanksgiving next week, but you don't have Thanksgiving next week here.
We did ours already.
You did yours already. Yeah, we're late to the game, but you do have like the Christmas season, holiday season, New Year's. What are you looking forward to the most? Is it busy musically on the? Is it bad if I was about to say the food? The food? Oh yeah, the music. The food. That's what we're here for. I got a little distracted. No, what food are you looking for? My mom can really cook. Despite being British, she can really cook. So she could throw down. So I'm really excited for that, and like getting together with family too is always fun, and all the different meals that we bring together. So I'm excited for that for sure. I'm like, I really love the summer though. So for me, it's like the chance to see everybody before I go full hibernation mode, before I go full basement mode, just like working. So like, this is the last little bit where I'm like social and having fun, but I can't stand winters. I wasn't built for this. You like the warm weather. Yeah, sun. Totally. Like I feel like nothing is too hot for me. Yeah. You know? The problem I've been having out here is that in America we have a different measurement system for distance and for temperature. So the house I'm at is like 20 degrees. I'm like, what does this calculate to? And I'm like, okay, I need it to be warmer, so I just turn it up. But I don't want to turn it up like 10 degrees and then I'm like, it's on fire. So I'm like weighing those options. Yeah, we keep talking in Celsius and gallons, and it's just like liters, like what? Kilometers to miles. Liters, kilometers. Well, Sosa picked me up this morning. He was like, I'm like 1 kilometer away. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Like, how much time does that mean? Because if anything, I'm glad time's the same. Like, minutes are still minutes and seconds are still seconds. Yeah, so. Like, whatever that means. Like, what is a kilometer? Anyone have any questions? Drop them in. Yeah, please do follow at VYBZ Chantel. Chantel, music supervisor. I think for me, I'm looking forward to what I like about the holidays is because I do work full time at National Geographic. Is I have more time to focus on music and also spending time with family. Nice. My wife and her family, they throw down for Thanksgiving. Really? So next week I'll probably add on a couple pounds, and then around the holidays, I think last year I did 4 albums between Christmas and or I'll say between December and New Year. For a library _tension. So she's cooking and you're cooking. We both cooking. I like that. I like that idea. Minnie, the producer, has a question. When you are listening to tracks, I'm assuming you mean Chantel. Can you tell us what parts of the songs you consider most important? That's a good question. Yeah, I feel like for me, I really just want to like feel it in my soul. I know sometimes I have to like jump around the track for a little bit. So there are like kind of certain markers that I will sometimes jump to depending on how long the song is. So like typically if I see
like a 2-minute song, I might go to that 30-second mark just to see where we're going to pick it up and where things are going to go. But it really depends because, you know, with things for ads that are a lot shorter, there's just certain marks that I'm looking for that sometimes can be project dependent, but are pretty typical to see like a particular flow for sync. But I think for me, the most important thing is sometimes I want to feel like no matter where I drop it, I feel something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think that there's so much about instinct when it comes to like music supervision, and that's why, you know, I credit all the years I put in, like, you know, really listening to a diverse amount of music, right? So that I can get to the point where, you know, I can trust my instincts on things, and yeah, I want to feel like I connect with the song and it sounds good to me. So sometimes that just feels like I want to be able to drop in at any point and be like, yeah.
How soon? Because a lot of times you can feel the energy of the song like after 5 seconds. How soon before you either hit stop or decide to continue to play the song?
Yeah, there are some things that, like, you know, you feel it right away. And I think that it's like when I'm listening to music, sure, like it's common. I've been on panels with a lot of music supervisors where they're like, you got 1 second,
yeah, like, wait, no.
you know, to get it in. And so I totally understand, because we're working hard and we want to get through things fast and we want to trust our instincts, that it's important to be able to kind of in a few seconds be able to tell. But the way I always look at it is, because sometimes it sounds harsh to be like, cool, I listened to it for 10 seconds and I caught a vibe. But I think that if I'm in a space where I'm sat down and I'm listening to something and giving it my attention, that's really different than the consumer. How many of us are skipping ads, turning down ads, right? So if I want to deliver something super effective for a commercial, it's got to hit in a second, or else, like, you know, the audience is even harsher than me. You know, I'm like at least really here for the music. But that's not going to be the case when it goes to the customer, right? So it's really important that it has that feel, and, you know, it's not losing people, it's not getting boring, because we want to be able to tell a story through the music. We want to be able to capture people through the music too. So I think it's really important to think about, you know, not what do I like, but what's the client gonna like, what's gonna best represent either their project or their product, and what does their audience like. So for me, it's more about, like, you know, stepping into that mindset of, like, the people that are going to be watching this rather than what I like too.
And all that could change over time. Like a company might want to do an ad that's geared more towards kids, but then the same company might a couple months later want to do an ad geared more towards athletes, and those are same company but different audiences for the same client.
Totally,
so you have to keep all that in mind. All right, we have like 4 more minutes, so any more questions? That was a good question, Manny, the producer. Drum Guy Bliss says, do I go to the website to submit? So how do they submit, if you know offhand?
We do have a submission page on our website, which is constantly being reviewed. So that's definitely a way that you can get your music in there for sure. If you guys want to give me a follow as well, I feel like because we're doing this live, I can let you in.
See, we got the little sneak inside. If you missed it, at Vibe Chantel, I should have pinned it. At Vibe Chantel, just follow her and you can see the company she's with, Wracket Music Supervision. Follow them. Check out the website on how you can submit. Vibes Chantel. Send. I just dropped the DJ VIP. Let me see if I can pin it. I gotta get used to going live. Many of the producer says builds, transitions, act 3. That is, I actually do a lot of those builds and transitions in music I'm working on. Only because I bring a lot of trailer stuff over into the pop, hip hop things. But do you also like songs that have like effects already in there, like builds, rises, transitions?
I think the thing about Wracket is we work on short form and long format, so we have a variety, right? So there's certain times where that's a lot more useful and a lot more powerful, so I do think it's like fantastic if it's got that little
bit of ear candy in there, the little sprinkle. She didn't do the sprinkle, did she? Seamus, thank you for tuning in. I am Lotus Noir. Jason Grant, thank you for tuning in. Also another incredible sync agent. Is there anything in particular that you are looking for right now? Rich, that is a great question. That is the one question that I tell everyone. Whenever you have a conversation with a music supervisor, the two questions I say to ask them is, what are you looking for right now? Do your research. Like, if you're going to know you're going to talk to a supervisor, check out interviews they have, not unlike this one. Check out podcast episodes they've done. And then if you're going to be in a room with them or you're going to see them on a Zoom call, whatever the case is, the two questions to ask. What are you looking for right now? Because it might not be what they just worked on, the project, the show. But also, how often can I send you music if I can't send you music? Those are the two questions that I like asking music supervisors. So add that to your directory of questions. So that is a great question. Rich, is there anything particular that you are looking for right now?
Yeah. So anything that feels really beautiful, euphoric, soft, even slightly feminine, really works for some of the more commercial stuff that we have going on. In terms of more of the TV stuff, we're looking for things that are, we love to do stuff that's really based in the culture. So I think that when it really has that authentic sound, that's important to us. And there's some diversity there. So whether we're looking for things that are, like I've mentioned, more hip hop R&B, I've mentioned some Amapiano, I've mentioned some like Latin influence too. So I kind of feel like when it comes to TV, we want what's like cool and hot. And then when it comes to like more of our commercial stuff, we're looking for things that are just a little bit more euphoric, a little bit more about like stepping into your feminine, your divine feminine, stuff like that. It really works for me at the moment, but it's constantly changing. I feel like every month or every 2 months is a good amount of time for us to, kind of send in music. This is Michelle.
We're gonna end with Miss Niche. We're live. So Michelle, what we've been talking about this whole time while we're out here is the Sync Music Production Accelerator. Follow Miss Meech, 17, right? Miss Meech.
17, good number.
What is it? MZ.
MZ.
She is the CEO and founder of the Sync Music Production Accelerator. MEECH? SH. 17 of the Sync Music Production Accelerator. So Drum Guy Bliss, I know you mentioned that you are in Canada. Follow her to find out about the Sync Music Production Accelerator and see how you can apply to join this incredible initiative. And you can be in locations like Chantel is, who is now a music supervisor at the top. We're calling it the top Black-owned music supervision company in all of Canada.
You told everybody how you were here last year.
Yes.
Like, so proud. I'm having these amazing mama moments, if you will. Like, I'm just super, super stoked. I'm so proud of already the individuals that are in this particular program. I'm seeing the work that the last program is still continuously doing. I'm here to grow this and develop it. I can't thank Marcus enough for being such an amazing contributor and a value add to those that just want to get into the sync space. This is what we do. This is how we do it.
This is the one that's connecting people with the right people. This is the one that's making the magic happen, right? I was talking before about being in that space of being hungry and being, driven. And this was the person who saw me for who I was and was able to connect me where I could shine. So if you're looking to really grow up and sing, you gotta watch for what Michelle's cooking up for sure.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I am a massive advocate in belief in others, and all anybody needs is sometimes just a pathway, just a pipeline, just an understanding around how to make the decisions they have to make.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough of that in terms of just not so much just information, because information can be a little bit too much. I think when we transition information into application, then you know what to do for yourself in terms of your direction and your decision making. So that's what I am. Always application over information every day of the week, 7 days of the week, except for the time I'm sleeping.
So definitely check it out. Also, I know some people, if you know some people that have some interest in investing in the Sync Music Production Accelerator. And it doesn't have to always be money. For example, I have some friends at IK Multimedia that donated some plugins that the participants could download this week. So hit us up. We have to end because we got to get back to work. But thank you all for tuning in. This will be up on the page. I might put it up on YouTube also, so stay tuned. And in the description, I will put all of the @ so you can follow Sync Music Production, the Sync Hook Company, and what is the other one? Sync... There's like 3 of them.
I know, right?
The Hook Sync. And
the Hook Sync Group, Sustainable Creative
Sync Group,
Living, the Hook & Co.
All the above. The Hook & Co. was the other one. And Miss Mish and Chantel. I'll drop all the ads in the description, so stay tuned. Thank you all for tuning in, enjoying my time out here in Canada, and we will see you soon. All right, peace.